the Haunted Harvest Festival. Autumn arrived in Willowbrook with a golden blaze of leaves and a crisp chill in the air. It was the season of harvest festivals, and the tiny town nestled in the heart of the countryside was no exception. Every year, we eagerly awaited the Willowbrook Harvest Festival, a celebration of bountiful crops and community spirit. This year, however, was different. An air of unease hung over Willowbrook as whispers of strange occurrences swept through the town. The scarecrows guarding the corn maze seemed eerily lifelike, their straw-stuffed faces contorted into grotesque grins. Children claimed to have seen figures moving among the cornstalks, and some swore they heard mournful wails carried by the autumn wind. The rumors were plentiful, each more unsettling than the last. The vanishing children. Locals spoke of children who had ventured into the corn maze, only to disappear without a trace. Their parents, frantic with worry, searched the labyrinthine paths in vain, finding only abandoned toys and whispers of laughter in the rustling leaves. The midnight howling. Some claim to have heard strange, unearthly howls emanating from the maze in the dead of night, as if the very earth itself were in agony. It sent shivers down our spines, and we hesitated to step outside after dark. The scarecrow's stare. Witnesses reported that the scarecrow's eyes followed us, not just with their gaze, but with their heads, as if they were alive. Those brave enough to approach the eerie figures swore they heard faint whispers, like ancient incantations carried on the wind. The disappearing footprints. On particularly dewy mornings, festival goers claimed that the footprints left behind by the maze's visitors vanished without a trace, as though the earth itself had swallowed them up. The lost time. We often lost track of time while inside the maze. Minutes stretched into hours, and it was said that those who emerged bore an inexplicable weariness, as though they had been in the maze for days. As a young journalist who had recently moved to Willowbrook, I found myself drawn to the festival's mysterious atmosphere. My curiosity piqued by the rumors, I decided to investigate and write a feature story for the local newspaper. On the festival's eve, as the sun dipped below the horizon, I donned my warmest coat and set out for the corn maze. The festival grounds were lit by the warm glow of lanterns, casting eerie shadows that danced along the paths. Families bustled about, their laughter and chatter masking the undercurrent of fear that gripped the town. As I approached the maze's entrance, I couldn't shake the feeling of being watched. I glanced around but saw no one nearby. With a deep breath, I ventured into the maze. The narrow, twisting paths seemed to stretch endlessly, illuminated only by the occasional lantern hanging from a post. My footsteps echoed, and the rustling of my coat against the dried cornstalks filled the silence. The scarecrows loomed at each intersection, their glassy eyes following my every move. Hours passed, and my sense of disorientation grew. I felt as though the maze was shifting, rearranging itself to confuse me. Panic clawed at the edges of my mind as I turned a corner and found myself facing the same scarecrow I'd passed moments ago. It was then that I heard the whispers, a chorus of voices, soft and melodic, like a mournful lullaby. The voices seemed to come from the very cornstalks themselves. I followed the haunting sound, and it led me deeper into the maze. With each step, the whispers grew louder, and I felt a strange compulsion pulling me forward. The path widened into a small clearing, and there, amid the swaying cornstalks, I saw a circle of people. They were dressed in tattered, old-fashioned clothes, their faces obscured by shadow. In the center of the circle, a strange ritual was taking place. A woman with long silver hair stood over a carved pumpkin, her hands outstretched as if in prayer. The pumpkin emitted an eerie, pulsating light that bathed the clearing in an otherworldly glow. My heart pounded as I watched, unable to tear my gaze away. I knew I should leave, but an irresistible force held me in place. The silver-haired woman raised her head, and her eyes met mine. In that instant, I felt a connection, a surge of ancient knowledge and a chilling revelation. The woman spoke, her voice a haunting melody that sent shivers down my spine. "You have come, seeker of truth," she said, her words both a welcome and a warning. Suddenly, the scarecrows surrounding the clearing came to life, their straw arms stretching toward me. Panic surged within me as I realized the truth. The scarecrows were not there to harm me, but to protect the ritual. With newfound determination, I broke free from the trance and sprinted back through the twisting maze, my heart racing. The scarecrows reached out, their straw fingers brushing my coat, but they did not pursue me beyond the maze's entrance. Gasping for breath, I stumbled out of the maze and into the festival grounds, where the revelry continued unaware. I knew what I had witnessed was no ordinary event. It was a glimpse into a world where ancient rituals and supernatural forces converged. My feature story on the Willowbrook Harvest Festival would be unlike any I had ever written, for I had uncovered a truth that lay hidden beneath the facade of a simple autumn celebration. Willowbrook's scarecrows were not mere decorations. They were guardians, protecting a secret that had endured for generations, a secret that I had stumbled upon, but could never fully comprehend.